Hello again, we're back. Yeah, we're doing some more, because we're on deadline here. So, I dropped off a little earlier, and about 2 minutes later, Renee pinged me and went, "Hello, I broke your app." So let's see what Renee did. So this is the Azure dashboard where the whole thing is running. What I'm gonna do on here. So we got two things we can look at. One is we've got the log stream, which may have some indication, but probably no, it's not there because the thing that went wrong was a while ago. So this only kind of works if you catch it while it's happening. But what else we got on here is I've got application insights, which is Azure's. Hey, look at all the stuff you broke. So let's have a look at the app insights for the last 6 hours. There's a spike. Look at that spike there. Failed request count, 21 counts in that. Let's click that and see what we got on there. And yeah, so we got a bunch of 404s. That's fine. Let's have a look. So we got, yeah, that's cute. A whole bunch of stuff. What was that? 6-4. Okay, so that's just before I deployed it when I was hitting Q and it wasn't working yet. But we got a bunch of 500s. Now 500s here are interesting because we shouldn't be getting 500s. And get /root/Q argument null exception. Right, let's see if we can break that. So if I go here and I get a /root/Q. And okay, so that's a 404 now. So at some point, someone was hitting that URL there. Now, and they were getting a, let's blow that up, full view, call stack. So the thing that was actually blowing up here is that song database.list songs was blowing up with an argument null exception, which is curious, because I can't think of any way that you could get a null. And anyway, right, let's have a look at the code, see if we can. So this is test-driven debugging, if you like. First of all, I want to make a test that blows up with this exact problem. Whatever it was that someone managed to do. Let's see if we can figure out. Now I know it was Renee, because Renee breaks things. He's good at that. Let's fire up the code and see if I can get this thing to fall over. So argument null exception, dictionary. Okay, so dictionary try insert. All right, so we don't have a full stack trace in here. Let's see what we got. So this is localhost 7321. All songs is working. Songs is working. Oh, look at that. That's kind of nice. Rolling in the deep. Start that one. Back to all songs. Dream on. Black Velvet. Larger than life. Yeah. There's the queue. Let's take that out and go back to the queue again. All right. So how's it breaking? Let's have a look. So the thing we're looking for here is we got a dictionary.add.try-insert on list starred songs. Yeah, now this is probably, so song database.cs line 49. That's where the problem is happening. So we've got a song database.cs line 49. What are we doing in there? Now that's okay. This is fun. So somehow we've managed to get. I think I know how this happened. I think what we can do is, I think if I just go to /star. Okay, so that's a 405 invalid method. What I'm wondering is if we, so let's have a look if, because what I don't know here is whether this just broke through clicking around the site, which I don't think is possible, but we haven't validated the entry points, because we got this endpoint method here, star. When we click on one of these, it sends a star in. But let's have a look at what happens. So we're gonna break our own code here. I'm gonna go onto this, and I am gonna take the data song slug, and I am going to chop that out so that that no longer has a valid slug. Then I'm going to hit that, and I'm going to hit the network, and what am I getting off that? I'm getting a 200, okay, but then if I hit the Q, boom, found it. Okay, so what we have determined is that if somebody is being mischievous, they can edit the code, they can take out that data slug, and what that means is that it's possible to bookmark a null song. So let's just stick some validation in there. So first of all, let's make a test that actually blows up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my root controller, song index tests, index for new user, starring song toggles start on. Okay, so there's that one. So let's put this in. So public async task starring song with empty slug does not make everything break. It's a good name for a test, right? So what do we got? So let's spin up. I mean, we can just spin up var db equals new song database. Oh, we need a song. We need something. All right, we'll put in 9 Inch Nails. Why not? Boom. So drop that in. Hurt is on there. We need a fake user tracker with a GUID. So let's drop that in there. Hang on, about GUID. Okay, that should be there. We drop that lot in. And so I think if I go c.star, so I think I can put anything here. Let's try. Actually, what we'll put in a bunch of test cases. So we'll change that from a fact to a theory, and I'm gonna be what's the inline data? That's what it is. So inline data nothing. Inline data null. Inline data, this is not a valid song. All right, string slug, boom, c.star slug. Now, I think the problem is that's working. But what's happening is those should be awaited because that's an async method. Await c.star. Now that's not going to break because c.star at the moment will just quite happily take a null song and add it to your favorites. So what we need to do now is var result equals c.q as view result, and result dot should not be null, and that there needs to be await c.q, and I think that's gonna fail. 3, 2, 1, boom, there we go. Result equals await c.q. All right, so we got a test validating that the thing that broke actually broke. So let's fix that. That's cool. I got a, oh yeah, because I got 3 different test cases. Yeah. If you look, if I bring this way out here so you can see what we actually got going on. End crunch there is we got slug, we got this is not a valid song, we got null. That's all good. Okay, so we want all of those. So let's go on to c.star, and then at this point what I want to do is, so we could let's do this. Song equals that, and we'll say if song equals default, return not found. There. So now the test will still fail. No, the test won't fail because c.star, I'm not asserting the result of that. Okay, so that's good. That will stop that blowing up. It's kind of fun. Why is that complaining? Expression is always false according to null the reference. Well, that's crap. Because db.find song string slug. If I look at the yeah, that needs to be that, doesn't it? Because this is .NET 7 where let's control F12 jump onto that. So there's that. Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. That's cool. Right. We can scrub that out of there. I think I can inline that. I think I should be able on this line. So I got for each pair in stars, faves equals stars dot select many, and stars is a pair, goes to pair dot. Can I do that? Cannot convert that to that to that. Explicit conversion exists. I am missing a cast. But if I control break out of that, our faves equals that. And so throw in another one of those. 3, 2, 1. See if the tests pass. They still pass. Okay, that's cool. So we can actually crunch this down into one. Incredibly crunchy single liner. Stars dot select many on that. Dot group by that. Dot to dictionary on that. Which means that whole thing can literally just become that. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, that worked. Okay, cool, right. So bail out of all that lot, grab the code for that, git add dot git commit minus m, fix the bug Renee found. Renee, does Renee need a I'm gonna put it at A on the git commit message. Fix the bug Renee found by hacking my website. Boom. All right. So, what do we got to do now? So I want sign up. I want the ability. So that song page there that we can see. If I run this in here. I'll click on a song, and at this point, I have a little form that says, what do you want to do? Play this instrument, tick, 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 put in your name, sign up, boom, done. So this thing now is going to need a song selection, so I need to change the code. I think it's time user needs to be a thing. Like, at the moment, I've got user GUIDs just floating around all over the place. I need to fix that. So let's start by the root controller song test, task return song with star. So we are going to there's a thing in .NET you can do with identities, which gives you a way of kind of validating thread dot, kind of setting all kinds of context stuff. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to pull the GUID out of the cookie raw and inject it as we go along. So what we got to do here is, so db.toggle star doesn't want to take a GUID anymore. It wants to take a user. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty kind of significant restructuring of the way a lot of this stuff works. So I'm going to go into my iSong database on there, and on here we are going to, I'm going to plug in a public class user. And user as a Yep, give them a new one. Spin that up every time. There we go. And so now that becomes list start songs becomes a user for a user. Toggle start takes a user and song and boom and I got a message from Renee telling me what he did. It's all right. We fixed it. It's fine. It's we have the technology. So, right, what do we got? That's been now. Not everything's going to break now because we've changed the interface. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to need to change the tests. So the thing won't even build. So let's get it to a point now where so web tests on there. db.toggle star takes a user GUID. Now at this point we are going to, so let's say var user equals new user. There we go. So user.GUID gonna take that. Now cookie is gonna take user.GUID.toString. That's fine. And db.toggle_start takes a user, so that gets plugged in there. And no way did that build succeed. There's a bunch of stuff should be broken. All right, so now we've got toggle star. All right, so I'm gonna do this based on user identity instead of there's that, which means this is now gonna break because dictionary of user and list of songs stars becomes that, which means list songs user becomes get value or default user otherwise new. Rebuild that lot, bunch of stuff breaks. There we go. Right, so tracker.get user GUID. Actually, we don't want tracker to get a user GUID anymore. We're going to modify that. So this now returns user goes to get user. Hello, yes, I made the world-class programming language Rockstar. I wouldn't call it world-class, but yeah, that was me. That was fun. Right, let's fix this up. So public GUID, get user GUID. All right, so this one here is user get user. That's gonna be fine. And this thing is gonna be GUID toString return. If GUID dot try parse cookie value GUID return new user, and we'll put GUID into the constructor there. So let me create a user constructor in that. That's fine, but I need an empty constructor in there as well. So there's one of those. And GUID, and we'll initialize the auto property. That GUID equals GUID. That's fine. Let's split that out into its own class. So that's there, that's there, that's fine. So if that's then, oh, this is kind of weird because we can do that, which is a little odd, but it's all right. Now at the moment, if we know the GUID, we can reinflate or kind of rehydrate the user from scratch. We're going to need to do something a little bit more sophisticated. Because in a minute, users are going to get names, which means we know the GUID. We need to be able to tell the user's name, which means we're going to need to put some persistence in here. So yeah, there's that, and so that sets the cookie. I'm actually gonna move that. Right, let me think a second. If GUID.tryParse that. Oh, good, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I wonder if I can do this. If not, that. That's going to do a double return, isn't it? Yeah, which is not what I want, because that needs to return a new user based on the GUID we've got in there. That can be a target type new, which is there, and spin that around. So this is a refactoring the resharperoids, and I never like the whole we can do it there and we do it there, like the duplication between the two returns there. I don't like it very much, but it works. Okay, that's cool. So we got that to there. Var user GUID equals tracker.get user GUID. Well, actually, user equals tracker.get user. And then let's start songs for user. That's all fine. That's tracker.get user. And there's that. And that just becomes user. And then in here, we've got tracker.getUser. We refactor that to be called user. That's all fine. We are going to put a if song equals default return not found on there and move that underneath. So if we look up the song in the database and there's nothing there, boom, bail out straight away. No point even trying to return anything. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. What we got blowing up in here? Var user equals new user. That's fine. db.toggle star for the user. Tracker equals new fake user tracker. Okay, so fake user tracker now. I need to re-implement that. So this is gonna have a fake user tracker. User equals new, which I can't do because it's not a compile time constant. So user equals default, which of course is what the default is anyway. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's cool. We can do that. So we can say user. We want to initialize a field. So in here, I'm gonna say introduce read only user this dot user equals user or new. Hello, welcome. How you doing? Get user good is gonna return that, but that's actually called that, and it's that type on it. Break out that and change method get user to user, because that's not nullable, but that is. So there we go. We can pass in null in the constructor, but if we do, the constructor will spin up a new one for us. Right, rebuild. Did everything work? Build failed. Let's see why the build failed. Because dictionary song, and that will be a list of user now, not a list of GUID. And that is gonna say, yep. List start songs. We need to change the interface method, which is on iSong database. So we jump into that, and somewhere on here, there we go. That returns a list of user instead. Right, built, everything works, and woohoo, now everything breaks. Sweet, okay. So what do we got? Let's fix all the stuff that broke. Var user GUID equals. So we're going to change that to user, and we're going to change that to new user. Hit all of those methods. That's going to be fine. Boom, that's green. Tap F8 to jump to the next thing that broke. So GUID, new GUID. That is going to be new user. And that's just called user. Replace all those methods. There we go. We got 15 errors down to 13 errors. And we've got, so all of this, Shift, Alt, multiple cursors, scrub all that out, new user. There we go. And that's all target typed. Let's see if it'll do that. It'll only do one line at a time. Bless. All right, down to 7 errors. Hit F8, bounce on to the next one. New user, replace that with user. There we go, built that. That was 8 errors last time, down to 7, down to 0, down to 3. Okay, GUID 1, so GUID 1 becomes user 1, GUID 2 becomes user 2, GUID 3 becomes user 3. All those become, boom, new user, there we go. And for var user in, toggle star, boom, 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 boom. And what do we got there? We've got var user equals new user, fake user tracker, bounce off that. Cool, there we go. All right. Dereference of a possibly null reference. Yeah, we don't care about that. I'm gonna do a selection.bang. Song should be song. And let's grab that one and db bang list on that and just pick up all of these on here. And error list warnings. Let's fix all the warnings by saying this won't never go wrong, and if it does, they're unit tests, so they can blow up anyway, and that's fine. Fascinating how you managed to juggle all the open thoughts and then bring them together. I thought that's what programming was. I mean, it's one of the things that I love about doing kind of full stack web development. And with full stack, I mean like the whole data schema, backend, front end, CSS, JavaScript is kind of thinking this is what needs to happen when this thing happens. And then in order to make that exist, why is that blowing up? That's cool. Sequence contains no elements. All right, we got an actual failing test coming out of here. So let's root index includes start songs. Why is that breaking? What did I miss? There's that cookie. I think I know what the problem is. So strings in .NET are always going to be equal. Now the problem here is I got db.toggle star based on user. And so that's going to set an entry in a dictionary. But then down here, when I put in the user as a GUID, as a string in a cookie that gets rehydrated on the other side, I don't get the same user. I don't get the same object reference back. So there's two ways I can fix this. One is I can put the database into the user tracker. So we always have the same GUID, you get the same actual number, the same actual instance, the same object. The other one is we can override equality on their user. So if it's the same, two different users have the same GUID, they will compare as equal. Now I don't want to do that because then I can end up with two users that look equal, but say one of them has a name and the other one doesn't, and that's going to screw all kinds of things up. So what I'm going to do on this is we are going to go into our, here, let me write the test. User tracker, so team, bam. I need to fake the HTTP context that gets put into the user tracker in order to generate tests around that. So what I'm going to do on here is I'm going to put a public class user tracker tests, new class on that, fact, and public void tracker returns same instance for same GUID. So I'm going to say var t equals new user tracker, new HTTP cookie user tracker, which means I need to give it an HTTP context accessor, which I can mock this. So var HTTP equals new mock HTTP context accessor. Do I even have mock in this yet? I don't think I do. Let's find out on NuGet.org and MOQ. There we go. An enjoyable mocking library. Yep, that's the one we want. Slap that in. Boom. Apply that to unit test. Yes, install that. And HTTP dot so let me just remind, what does the user tracker actually do internally? HTTP context, HTTP context dot request dot cookies. So we got setup get goes from I'm going to call that the context accessor. So the mock HTTP context accessor is that. So that setup get m goes to m.http context dot returns. Now I need something that will spin up a new. So let's create a new one. So var HTTP context equals new HTTP context. And can I instantiate that directly? No, I cannot. Is there HTTP context? At one point there was HTTP context base, but we can't do that. So let's, I mean, we could mock the whole thing all the way down. That would work. Var HTTP context mock equals new. So we can mock HTTP context. Yeah, that's fine. And then we can say var mock HTTP request equals new mock HTTP request message, I think is the type we're gonna mock on that. So there's that one, and then HTTP context dot returns mock HTTP context dot object. So when we ask for that one, we give that one back, and then we'll say mock HTTP context dot setup get c goes to c dot request is a HTTP. Okay, it's not a request message, it's just a request. Dot returns mock HTTP request dot object. So that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. And now finally we're going to say mock HTTP request dot setup. And so this is going to pull out cookies. Is going to be a what? Cookies is going to, I'm sure there's an easier way of doing that. So it's an I request cookie collection. var cookies equals new request cookie collection, or just cookie collection. Is that something I can instantiate? Yeah, it is. Cool. All right. So cookies.add, and now I can put a new cookie, and this thing is gonna have the HTTP cookie user tracker dot cookie name. Oh, hang on, that should be in here. So cookie constructor takes a name, and we need to give it a value. So let's say var GUID equals GUID.new GUID. There's that. GUID.toString. So that's cool. So there's a cookie collection. Blunt in there. So when the request we go, hey, set up r goes to, or rec goes to rec.cookies dot returns cookies. So that'll give us back a come on. Cannot convert cookie collection to I request cookie collection. What the hell is I request cookie collection? Is that even a thing that exists? What does that look like? I mean, where does that even come from? Boom, decompile Microsoft.net. Okay. It's an IEnumerable of key value pair of string. Right. Mocking I request cookie collection. There we go. Yeah. Look, oh, that one's purple. Look, that happened already. Yeah. Okay, this is all. I love when you get all these Stack Overflow answers. That one's got 5 upvotes, but it's not accepted. Controller, string values. I mean, that's plugging into HTTP context.request.headers, which is not what we want, really, because we're not using contexts in here like that. And so we need to plug in. That's not mockable at all now. All right, so okay, so this is nsubstitute, which is a different mocking library, but maybe I can mock iRequest cookie collection and weird. I wonder if that's mockable. Let me just try this. So mock http context dot setup h goes to h dot request dot cookies dot try get value. Okay, this is interesting. Maybe that'll do what we need. Maybe. Let's try it. Put that in there. How do you mock an output variable? Yeah. That argument must be assignable. Rabbit hole. So what do we actually got on here? Right, step back. We got a new HTTP cookie user tracker. Now that thing takes a HTTP context accessor. Now what I'm wondering is, do I introduce another level of abstraction? And I think I probably do, just because the cookie stuff in .NET is proving to be fiendishly untestable. So what we can do in here is I can say public class iCookie, cookie jar, cookie collection, just iCookies will probably do. And then so iCookies is, actually that's going to be an interface. Public interface iCookies, and this thing is going to have a single method, which is public string get cookie, and this is just going to take a string name. So we give it a name, it gives us back a value. Then our HTTP cookie user tracker, this thing can now be implemented in terms of, so I'm going to create a public class HTTP cookie cookie collection, cookie style, cookie jar. It's got a cookie jar. Cookie jar's a good name for it. So then what I'm doing here is I'm going to say this thing takes an iCookie jar, and that includes there. So that's in there, that's in there. That comes out because that actually now goes in here. And the HTTP cookie jar takes an HTTP context accessor HTTP, and it introduces that in there. So that's that. That's one of those. And then the cookie value in here. So let's plug in. So we got get cookie. We'll plug in a set cookie as well. So there's that HTTP cookie jar public string set string name string value. Boom. Implement that. Yep, get and set, that's cool. Get string name is gonna be a direct call on to http context dot request dot cookies dot try get value. And what do we want to do on this is we actually would just give it back. It'll return null if we got missing values, so that's cool. We'll get that back. That's fine. And we'll conditional access those, and that's saying okay. And then set name value. This is gonna then call that. So http context.request.cookies.append name value, and we're gonna plug options in there. That gives us 7 days expiry on that. Rebuild that, so that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Which means now in here, cookie value comes out completely. So at this point, we're gonna call, so let's just call that cookies, that's fine. Rename that. And so if good.pass, so here we'll say var value equals there. Cookie value equals that. Good, new good, return new good. Yeah, that's cool. But actually at this point we can just return do good.new good straight off. Good doesn't get stashed anywhere. That becomes a conditional, which means, oh, hang on, no. Yeah, dope. That's not a new GUID. That's a new user with a GUID in it. Right. All problems in computer science can be solved with one additional layer of abstraction. So that's going to set the cookie in there. And that should actually, that returns void. Doesn't need to give anything back. So void set. That's fine. Set, that implements that. That implements that. And in here, if GUID.price, now at some point in this code, let me just have a quick look in Git to see exactly what I moved here. Because Git Kraken, my Git GUI is loading. There it is. Hello, Git Kraken. All right, and I just want to so our HTTP user tracker, user tracker, the line I removed is in get user. If that return that, so we need a cookie set there. GUID equals new GUID cookies.set, and name is going to be cookie name, and value is going to be GUID.toString and d hyphen. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we're doing we're not doing an explicit or a specific parse. We just need something that we can reliably turn back. Let's move that to HTTP cookie jar there. So that implements that. HTTP cookie user tracker is fine, which means the iCookie jar moves to iCookiejar.cs, which means that the iUser tracker is gonna move that to HTTP cookie user tracker, save all the things. So now we can go back to our tests, because what I want up here is screw HTTP context, get rid of all that stuff. Way too complicated to mock for what we need to do here. Var jar equals new mock. This doesn't even need to be a mock. I can drop a class in here. That's probably a class jar implements iCookie jar. And what are my methods I got on here? So implement those two. Implement missing members. Yep, get and set. That's fine. So dictionary string. contents equals new dictionary string. Yep, target type new on that. That's fine. So get just goes straight to contents.get value or default name, and set string name value goes straight on to contents name equals value. Sweet. There, cookie jar and 3 lines of code, and that's probably just needs to be read only. Yep, that's fine. And so now down here I can say var jar equals new jar. So this is what I want to test. This is the thing I think is making that other test fail, is I can say jar.set, and I'm going to put in here http cookie user tracker dot cookie name, and I think it's going to fail there. I think, yes, boom, that's the line that's failing, because the object identity all problems can be solved with an additional layer of abstraction. That's not my quote, that's a famous quote. All problems, additional layer of abstraction. David Wheeler, yeah. Split one function in two, break things up into more and more bits and more bits, and yeah. So, all right, that's good. User should be user 2. So the difficulty here is that our method getUser is not running any kind of resolution. So what I'm actually going to do here is I am going to inject a user database. So I got a song database at the moment, and probably song database is a bad title for a thing that it can be called song database. That's fine. Let's go to iSong database. So there's that. I enumerable song. So user find user good. User good. So good. That returns a user for that. And at some point in here, we want a what do we got? List songs, list start songs, add song. Let's have a user, save user, add user, update user. Which Sherlock Holmes, Cat? Because there's you know the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes, and there's the Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes, and there's the Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes, and there's the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, and there's Basil the Great Mouse Detective. So we need to figure out which Sherlock we're doing here. User, let's have add user, save user, whatever we call it. Hey Renee, yeah, I fixed it, and I put a unit test in to stop you breaking it again. Save user is going to have user. So I'll just plug that into the database. Now I don't think I need that yet, but we're probably going to need that in a second. So yes, Renee. So Renee noticed that if you sent an invalid slug, it would do a database lookup that would return null, and then it would put null in the dictionary. And you can put null in one of the dictionaries, but then when we tried to kind of pivot the dictionary around to turn it into, yeah, it would blow up. It's very clever. I'm quite impressed you found that. So, right. So our HTTP cookie user tracker takes an iCookie jar, but it also needs to take an iUser or an iSong database DB. Or I track this internally. Maybe I just store the users inside the cookie user tracker. Cosplaying Sherlock. I could do that. I got a Deerstalker hat. Oh, I used to have a Deerstalker hat. Cookie jar. This dot cookies. Let's... simplest thing that can possibly work. Private dictionary GUID user users equals new dictionary of GUID and user target type new. There we go. One of those. Boom, and now all I'm going to do is when I resolve one of those, private user, find user GUID. So if users.get user equals new user based on the GUID. That's cool. Users.add. And so this is basically, it's a pattern Fowler calls an identity map, where if we know the key, then it always looks it up and always gives us back the same object. Always users. Why is that complaining? Good user. Yeah, that's fine. Users.add. Because, yeah, I'm stupid. Actually, the user's GUID. That return user. Method could maybe be neater, but never mind. So if that, then return find user GUID and return I'm going to change that to be resolve user. Okay, so user equals new, bang, and I think we can that is not the most readable code in the world. But look how much we can crunch this stuff down. So, so basically what we got in here is we got a one-liner that says, hey, look in the users collection, try and get the value with the GUID. If you can, put it in the output variable user, return it. Otherwise, assign the users for that GUID to a new GUID, but then return the entire value of the assignment, and the result of an assignment in .NET is the value that just got assigned. So yeah, boom, that works. GUID equals GUID.new GUID. So we can cookie value equals that if GUID.tryParse. So that should work on there. That should work on there. That's looking pretty good. We're taking that off because I'm not putting find user on the song database anymore. We're going to track that internally. Wow, two things succeeded. Let's see what breaks. Lots of stuff breaks. Why does it breaks? Because cannot resolve service for type cookie jar. So I'm going to go into my program. Plug in one of those. Boom. And that should at least resolve the missing dependencies. So now the whole thing should track all the way down. Rebuild. And we got one little green light. And everything's broken. Sequence contains no elements. So interestingly, this was the problem we were trying to fix in the first place. And this was the thing where I said, yeah, I think that I got toggle stars in there twice. That's switching it off and then on again. I just duplicated a line because it's been a long day. All right, so that's good. That is actually breaking now. And sequence contains no elements. Element.single, li.song. That should be on there, all right. So I think the problem now is I have I ain't fixed anything. I still got multiple instances. Okay, how do we fix this? Probably by resolving the user from the database. Or we override equality on it. If two users have the same GUID, they're considered the same user. Or we make user a struct, and then we get value equality instead of reference equality by default. Actually, that might work. Changing that to that might just fix the whole thing. Yeah, boom, look at that. Yay! So in .NET, if you have a public class something, it checks to see whether you got the two that are actually allocated at exactly the same place in memory. If you've got a public struct something, it just goes, well, does this field equal that field, and this equal that, and this equal that, and if the fields are all equal, then the thing's considered equal. And by putting user in a struct, we No, I think user needs to be pushed into the database. The reason I think that is I think that this kind of stuff, there are going to be too many scenarios where it's too easy to end up with a different instance, and because we're using user directly in the database, let's... Actually, no. Even better idea. I'm going to hack the implementation. I'm going to go into Song Database. I'm going to change the way this thing works internally so that internally it's no longer a dictionary of user, it's a dictionary of GUID. And no, that's not going to work either because I need to get a list of users out. All right, so yeah, I need to push users down into the dictionary here. So I'm going to have a private read-only dictionary of GUID, and users is going to get pushed down into here. So what this means now is that my HTTP cookie user tracker, this thing needs to have an iSong database DB. Introduce read-only field for that thing. There's a song database. And so resolve user now gets chopped out completely. That is no longer part of this class at all. That does not form part of this. All we've got in here is the thing that pulls the cookies out. And if that is there, return db.findUser. So db.findUser needs to exist. So let's create that method on the database, and user find user based on GUID. So we give it a GUID, it gives us back the user, or null if the user does not exist. So right click, bang, implement in derived classes, which should be here somewhere. Implement in derived types. There we go. Public user find user goes to users dot. That shouldn't be duplicated. Get value or default. Good. Yeah, there. Boom. So that'll give me a resolution straight out of there. Or null if we got nothing found on the other side of it. And there's that lot. Find users in. And what's missing in here is the bit to add a new user. So user, save a user, user. So in this instance, boom, over there, alt enter that, implement in derived types, and save user, and that one goes to users, user.GUID equals user, bang, assign that, and return it. So we put it in the database and we give back the thing we just plugged in. That can be a one-liner. There we go. I wish those were the same length. Never mind, that's fine. Alright, so save user, find user is there. So if GUID.tryParse cookie out var GUID, at that point, right, the logic scenarios we've got to think through here are, there's no cookie. So good, try pass that out for good. So that means that we got the good out of there. If logic. So right, real easy case. So, got a cookie value, that's fine. If GUID.tryParse that, then if that situation, if db dot so the question is get user ever going to return null? And it shouldn't, because we always want it to return something, so we don't end up using null as one of our dictionary entries here. So if db.findUser GUID okay, do it this way. So if we can't pass GUID, we'll say GUID equals GUID.newGUID. So that means we've definitely got a GUID. Whatever happens, either the one at the cookie or one we just made up. Then we'll say var user equals db.findUserGUID. And if the user is not equal to default, then return the user. Otherwise, so actually let's say if user is equal to default, then we say set cookie, cookies.set and refactoring that is going to give us a double return. Yes, it is. It's all right. I can live with it being like this. Okay, so that's... Cool. All right. Tracker returns new instance for same good DB equals new song database, and we won't give it anything. Okay, that blew up. Object reference not set to instance of an object. Oh yeah, of course that's not going to work. That, yeah. And that. We're bouncing off that one test. Root index includes start songs is just breaking every time. Right, I'm going to... I know why it's not working. It's not working because db equals that needs to be db.saveuser. The same user needs to be in the database. So when we resolve it, there we go, boom. All right. So if the user's not in the database, then it can't favorite things, which makes sense because in real life you can't talk to the database directly. The only way to get there is to go through the web page. And right, cool, okay. I think I'm happy with that. Let's see if it actually works. So what we're looking for here is 3 different bits of... Good evening, Sally. How are you? Right, that all looks pretty good. That's nice. You're going on holiday in 5 hours. That sounds absolutely delightful. I'm going to be dropping off very shortly, although I'm not going on holiday. Okay, so there we go. That's up. That works. That works. That works. That works. That works. And what I want to check is, let me open multiple browsers. Let's open Microsoft Edge on purpose. I know, who'd have thunk it, eh? Wonders never cease. So there's localhost 7132. There's that. Different session, different user, different all the things. Bring that across to there. Bring that across to there. Bring that across to... We can't do... Can we do that? Oh, that, there we go. Let's open Firefox as well. We'll put Firefox over on the right-hand side of the screen. Isn't that nice? And there's one of those. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So everyone's gonna tag Faith No More, Faith No More, and D, Faith No More is in there somewhere. And then if we have a look at the queue, Faith No More, Everything's Ruined is up the top of the list there. Reload that. Do you not use fancy zones for quick snapping? I don't know. Do I? Is that a thing? So one of the slight challenges I have with window management, and I say challenge, is not actually a challenge. It's awesome. Is look at this. There. That's my Windows desktop layout. No, I don't use Windows 11 because it doesn't work with copy and paste in Photoshop. I ran Windows 11 for a year and got to the point where I went back to Windows 10 because it doesn't work with Photoshop on my graphics card, and Microsoft don't care, and Adobe don't care, and nobody gives a crap. So anyway, yeah, I got 6 monitors on this thing, so snapping to different window zones is fun. Anyway, right, cool. Queue's in. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I have Power Toys installed, but I don't think I've ever actually got around to configuring Fancy Zones for it. Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that, the Fancy Zones editor. Yeah. Columns. There we go. Columns. Okay. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. All the windows went away. Come back, all the windows. I only got 3, but I was using a 43-inch telly. Anyway, right, okay. I think that's pretty good. I'm glad with that. I think we got time to plug in one more little feature now. And then wrap it up. So let me... push that live. All right. Where's Visual Studio gone? It is there. Boom. Hello. Okay, let's plug in something a little bit more engaging. So what I'm going to do is on my controller thing. So let's go to controller tests. So root controller test base. Now, where do we run this? What I want is the form that you tick the instruments you want, you give it your name, it signs you up, and then your name appears on the queue and you form part of that. So I'm going to do that at controller level first. So song test. So what I'm going to do on here is first thing is song return song with star. Let's plug this in here. And we're gonna say public async task song returns song with name, so that your name comes up in the box when you got that. So song selection here is my model. I'm gonna extend song selection. So public song is there, public user get and set on that. So which user is it that picked this song? And so we are gonna say db equals new song database var user equals new user. And oh, I had that line already. Look at that. db.save user. That's cool. So users in the database. We're not going to need a toggle star. We don't need a fake user. We do. Yeah, we need a fake user tracker. I'll put that on there. Result equals await c.song model dot user dot name dot should be. Who should we have our dummy user on this to be? Sammy. Keep editing the code. DB is new user, so now user needs a name. All right, Surly Dev, you can be our test case. All right, there you go. We'll immortalize you in the test cases for the Guitaraoke playlist manager. And I'm actually going to stop that running while I fix this. So var user equals new user. Let me jump in there. User needs a name. Public string name get set. And user good. Equals null, and string name equals null, and we're going to say good equals good, or good.new good, and name equals name, or what's a good, a default string.empty at least. I mean, that's not null, so it should why is that? Because good needs to be nullable. There we go. And string needs to be nullable, which I will never get used to, but there it is. And initialize property name from constructor. And that can come out because now all the properties on our constructor are actually gone. That can be removed because that's on there. So what do we got? We got good. We got name, we got a constructor that will initialize things if we put them in empty. It's Surly Dev with a space. Boom, all right, gotcha. So user equals new user, name equals Surly dev. There, db.saveuser. Okay, so good. So it compiles, it works, and I'm going to put that in a constant string name equals this. Hey Scott, how you doing? Time travel. You're in like different, yeah, New Zealand time. So breakfast. Weird. Right, model equals result.model, model.user.name should be name. That's blowing up quite reasonably because it doesn't work. So you can give you the lottery numbers for tomorrow. The problem is that if you win the New Zealand lottery. So what am I looking for? Root controller is in there. So we got our method song. Stars equals that. Model equals new song selection. And put a constructor on that. Off to build more of the shed. I was quite amused. It was you, wasn't it, sharing a story about as a guy with your name in Christchurch who is a notorious con artist who's been ripping people off. And yeah. Although there's an Aussie rules footballer called Dylan Beattie who's doing quite well for himself, and he keeps cropping up in news headlines and I get alerts about it, which is kind of fun too. So right. There, okay, so name is there, so we're going to pull a name out, that's fine. So if the user's name is in the database, it will come out in the view and will get reflected in there. So right now we need something fun. So I'm going to do fact, and I'm going to say we're going to use a flag xenum. Woo! I love flag xenums. Let's be fun. So what do we got? We've got var hurt equals new song. We've got a song database. That is fine. We've got db equals new song database is on there. And we are going to create a new root controller based on that db and a fake user tracker. Which means we need a fake user. And db.saveuser. Well, I'm getting a little uncomfortable at how much setup it's taking to do these things. There's probably some scope to clean up a bunch of this stuff. Right, c equals new root controller. Okay, so now I want what I call c.song. So var result equals c.song. Now this is the sign up method. So what this is going to take now is it is going to take the hurt.slug is going to be the yeah. So that's the slug. That's the song that they're being signed up for. And we are gonna include line 33. Song signs up for song. Yes, song signs up for song, because the endpoint method is going to be called song because that's the action name. But when you post to /song, it signs you up to perform that song. So this should probably be post song signs up for song. You'll see in a second. Naming things is hard. So that equals that. Let's say surly dev is going to be the name. And then the last thing we need on this, so let's drop that in there. So now c.song, right, we need to put in a certain enum here. We need to put an enum that represents what people are going to do. Public plus oh wow, what's the flag? Boom, yeah, flags, cool. Instrument is gonna be, so what do we got on here? No, I love the way flags, you not only need to specify flags, you then need to go and explicitly say, oh yeah, also here are the values. Can I sign up for the song Africa by Toto? It's not on the list. It could be on the list. It's not on the list at the moment. So I'm gonna plug in, what do we want on here? So this is gonna be fun. So instrument, we've got sing equals 1. Good evening, Mr. Randall. That should have been the first song on your list of test data. Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. I just renewed that URL for another year. I'm going to do something with it this time around. Sing is 1. I mean, this thing we're going to mess around with. Lead guitar equals 2. Rhythm guitar equals 3. Bass guitar equals 4. Piano equals 5. Euphonium equals no, hang on, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Euphonium equals 32. I mean, the other thing you can do with bit flags is you do this. You say 1 shifted by 1, 1 shifted by 2. See? Trivial, simple, easy way to make flags enums. It's very readable if you know what a bitwise shift is. Theremin. Yeah. Karaoke. What do you mean it is not? Yeah. I'll add that to the user dictionary. This solution app, Guitaraoke, team shared. Yes, plug that in. That's fine. All right. So we got a user on there. We got an instrument on there. And now, so this is the fun part, is I want to see what... HTML is not going to let me do a flags enum. I'm not going to do that. So what I want, okay, let's work backwards from what we've actually got going on here. If I go to my song.cshtml view page, song.cshtml, drop that in model song, model artist, and then I got down here, so I'm going to have a form, ASP action equals song, and method equals post. And then in here, I'm going to have a bunch of checkboxes, which means I need to, on song selection itself, which is the piece of data here, let's move that across into another... And something like for each var item in enum.getValues. And I want to retrieve the underlying, so this will be enum.get. Yeah, we got get values, we got get names, we got format, we got a whole bunch of stuff. Enum.get values on that will give me and if I have the value, I can get the name, and if I name, I can get the value. So I'm going to say enum.get values instrument. So that's going to give me a bunch of items, and I'm going to say input. So label for equals input, and this is going to be, and then I need enum.get name for instrument, and item. And that does not like doing generics inside an attribute, inside HTML, inside a razor thing. Label 4 equals input on that. Then I'm going to say input type equals checkbox. And name equals that. No, wrong. Input, name equals instrument, value equals whatever that thing was. Item, there, that's what that is. And slash label and stick a line break on the end of it. Now let me see if this runs, because if it runs, you'll be able to see what this looks like when it comes out on our web page, and then you'll be able to see what the underlying value is that's going to get submitted when we submit the form. So there we go, Fawn and Blondes, what's up? Boom, 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 boom. Ah, look at that. There's no names on any of them. What a useless thing. That's because I never actually output any text. Item dot. There. That's redundant. We don't need that. Oop. There, saying lead guitar, rhythm guitar, bass guitar, piano, theremin. Whee! Is there a display name attribute? Display name. HTML.display name for. Might do it. It's been a long day. I'm a little tired to be messing around. Anyway, so the point that I want to kind of drive home here, we can mess around later with how we label the inputs there. But fundamentally what we got here is click on one of those, and we've got a bunch of checkboxes in here, which are those need IDs so that the labels on them work appropriately. So ID equals that. Reload that page. Boom. Rhythm guitar, bass guitar. Why am I running Edge? Goodbye Edge. We do not want your sort here. We don't want that. Did that just kill it? No, it didn't. Alright, that's fine. HTTP localhost. I can't even remember what bloody port I'm running on here. Attributes on enum members and custom code. Yeah. This is going to be awesome. So Mark comes along to Guitaraoke most months, and yeah, the whole. So the one of the things, Mark, I don't know if you. Let me show you the prototype mock-up that I got for this thing, which is somewhere running in another window, and which is there, that one. So the two things that I want to be able to do, actually three things I want to be able to do. One of them is HTTP localhost 8080. So this is the sort of mostly static-y mock-up-y thing, and I'm gonna inspect that and put that in mobile device mode and drop that down to like 125%. So this is your phone screen. So you've got, oh, I wonder if they have the final countdown by Europe, and yeah, there we go. So you can star on anything to switch on and off. Stretch goal, not soon, but eventually you're going to get a little preview on your phone of the karaoke track so you can see the chords that are on it and remind yourself how it goes. And you go, oh, I want to sing and I want to play bass on this, and my name is Carl Henrik. And then you sign up, and when you click sign me up, you get my songs, which is the songs you want to do. But also then, this is the queue. So this is everyone who signed up for anything, but then also it's the total votes on which songs have got the most favorites from the people who are in the room. So you can kind of look at this and be like, okay, everyone here wants to hear Smash Mouth. All right, so we'll do Smash Mouth, and then I click it, and yeah, I think it's gonna make it kind of easier to figure out what it is that people actually wanna hear. So yeah, right. Anyway, so where were we? We were here, and I click on one of those. I get those things here. Now, what I'm expecting to see underlying here is input sing value equals. Now, this is the weird thing, is I want to know what that controller method is gonna do when I post that. So if I go to my root controller, I got song, that's the HTTP get method, and I want to put on here HTTP post, and this is going to be public async task of action result song, and it's going to take string is going to be the song itself, which is going to be the song slug. What do we got? String name is going to be the name of the person who's signing up, and then I think I can probably instrument instruments, and yeah, song name instrument. I think that'll work. All I'm trying to get is for it to dump this thing out as the dirtiest way as it can. Are you going to need from form on those parameters? Yes, I probably am. Maybe. That's what I want to check. Let's continue. So stop running. Bail out of that. Stop that. Drop that in over here. Of course, yeah, it needs to be one of those. Right, so run that thing, and I just want to see what I get out the other side. So there's that. Star is born, shallow, sing, read guitar. The form needs a submit button, doesn't it? Because forms work better when you can submit them. So input type equals text, name equals name, placeholder equals your name, and input type equals submit. Boom. So refresh, there we go. So bang, fill that out, boom, 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 Liberty McFadden, submit that. Song null, Liberty McFadden, instruments has come out blank. So we don't need from form because it will bind it implicitly. I need an input type equals hidden. Name equals song, value equals, and this will be model.song.slug. Okay. And the value of these things needs to be forced to an int, because it won't do an implicit without adding a custom model binder. It isn't going to turn it into what we want on the flip side of that. So one of those, plug in that. And instruments is still an empty array. Let me see what value we got coming through here. Label 4 equals input sing, value equals 1, yep, value equals 2, yep, value equals 8. So we're definitely submitting ints on those. One of those, name in there, submit that. But it's still coming out as empty array. So maybe then, does it have the right input? Name equals instrument, root controller. It's just got the wrong name. How very special. So let's take that out and see if that works as just item. Maybe it'll parse it. Yeah, so there's that. Oh, hang on, wrong form. There's that. Back that up. Refresh that one. 2, 3, boom, stop that. Boom, there. So that works. We don't need any explicit parsing or casting because the default model binder will actually pull in whatever values we've got in there. So bang, bang, bang. That's that. That's cool. All right. Root controller song tests. So song.hurt hurt.slug surly dev is gonna be the name, and then I am gonna put in instrument dot sing and instrument dot bass guitar. All right, and so now what I want to see is var selection equals db.find you can't have maraca. I'm not putting, besides you can't play one maraca. What are you gonna do, wave it around? You need maracas clack clack together. That's yeah, I play the maraca. Yeah, Zen rock and roll, hey? db.find song for user. Hurt is the song, user is the user, and selection dot instruments dot should contain instrument dot sing. Should contain bass guitar. So db.find song for user, that does not exist. So let's plug that in, stop that running. Pixma? I got blue on blue. Pixma? Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Pixma 140 plays the triangle. Fine instrument. Other shapes are massively underrepresented in the modern symphony orchestra. Like, nobody plays the pentagram. Why is that? Jump over there. Object find song for user is going to be a song selection find song for user, and what this is gonna do is return new song selection. So what do we got in here? We've got a song equals song. I love the way that the names of my test songs end up in the data here. Song equals song. User equals user. When you're typing out the enums like instrument.bass guitar, do you not type just the initial letters like BG and then hit tab, I think it is, for autocomplete, like instrument.bg. Yeah, that works. I do that a lot if I remember that it existed. Right, we got about 2 minutes left before I knock off, so let's see if we can get this working inside of 2 minutes. So new song selection, song equals song, user equals user, is starred equals stars dot contains okay, I'm gonna fix this up later. Let's start songs. User dot contains song. All right, so there's one of those, one of those, one of those. Why is that complaining? Because song selection has that needs song in the constructor, so that can come out. User equals user is start equals that, and instruments is does not exist yet because song selection does not include instruments. So public user, public bool is start, public. I never know what an array, a list, a IEnumerable, probably list of instruments. Get set equals new. Yeah, boom, there we go. So instruments equals new list of instruments. Yep, that's cool, but then we need, so let's have a look at our root controller song tests. And root controller itself is gonna be, so db dot, so var song equals db dot find song. I don't want that to be called song, I want that to be called slug. Which means song.cshtml input type equals hidden, name equals slug. Yeah, that's fine. Name is that. Var user equals tracker.getUser, which it'll pull out of the cookie, which is fine. If song equals default, return not found, because you can't add songs that don't exist. db dot sign up. What do we got on sign up? We've got that song, that user, those instruments. There we go. And return something. It's probably enough for now. Root controller song test, post signs up for song, that's fine. So song database and public void sign up, user song. Instruments. So I just need someone in this kind of fake database to. I don't have a success page yet. It's nothing to redirect to. I just got to return OK. So what it's actually going to do is when you sign up for a song, it takes you to My Songs, and the one you just signed up for will be on the list, and it'll be at the top of the list, and you'll be like, oh yeah, or maybe at the bottom of the list, and scroll down. I don't know. But that page doesn't exist yet. So when you sign up, we at this point need to plug. Do I just do this as like a dictionary of tuples? Because then you get reference equality. No. User's going to have a collection of songs. That's what it's going to do. So start songs is there, users is there, jump onto user, and does that say record or record, or I don't know how records work. I've not actually done anything with records in .NET yet, believe it or not. Probably because no one has ever said to me, hey, we'll give you more money if you do that using a record, and I'm like, so you good name, and we'll have a public dictionary of song and like a class, but with automatic equality. So like a struct then, but different. Like a struct with constructors and methods. Yeah, let's move that into global using. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Equals new. All right, so signups. So sign up is down there. So what that's going to do now is we are going to say user.signups song equals instruments, because there's no real database. So we can do like really inliney stuff. So there's that. Find song for user, new song selection, And then instruments here is going to be user.signups.getValue or default song, otherwise nothing. And I can't do that because that needs to be instruments is a list of instrument, and that needs why does it not want me to do that? What have I screwed up here? So instrument, user signups.song equals instrument. So user signups is a dictionary that associates a song with an array of instrument, which is fine. So in there, and instruments is, it's because song selection instrument is a list of instruments, not an array. Add that. Oh, now you've added it all. I can see what you mean. You can do it with nothing. Brilliant. Right. Good night, dude. See you soon. Dum. Yeah. Don't. No, come on. Okay, cool. That works. Right. That's on there. That's on there. That can come out. That can come out. That can come out. That can come out. All right. That can come out. Find song for user is there. And try rebuilding that. And if this works, it works. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to stop anyway because it's time to go and eat some dessert. Yes. 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 Yes, I think I just need my song database. What does sign up look like? User song instruments. User song instruments. Boom. Works. Green everywhere. Everything is green. I'm going to push that to GitHub and go and eat dessert. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Short and sweet. I'm going to be doing a load more of this tomorrow because by the end of tomorrow, this thing flies, because on Saturday night, we take it out and use it for real. What can possibly go wrong, hey? Right, git add all the things, git commit minus m, signups is sort of mostly working, I think, except there's no success page, so it works, but you can't see that it worked. Yay. Boom, git push. Good night, friends, or good morning if you're in New Zealand and busy building sheds. And yeah, YouTube, fine. There's some kind of Twitch thing like you're not supposed to do that because then you're not eligible for monetization. But I don't think I'm ever going to be monetizing anything that I do on Twitch. It's just for fun. But yeah. All right.